it a second. What's good, my lovelies? Lovely soul Empress here, coming to do today's daily reading. What's good, BJ? Okay, so we're gonna talk about a couple things, but before we get into the actual reading, I want to make a couple of quick announcements. Okay, so Saturday is the Libra full moon. Okay, and I posted it on my community page. I'm gonna do a private reading. What's good, soulful sister? I'm gonna do a private reading. What's good, Copenhagen, for this full moon's energy? What's good, Tamila? And what I'm gonna do is, if you're a YouTube member or a Patreon member, that reading is free for you. Okay, if you are just a subscriber and you want to join in on that private collective reading, you can either join the membership on YouTube or Patreon, where you get, you know, like 20 extra videos a month, okay? Or you can just, you're welcome, Copenhagen, or you can just Cash App or PayPal me $7.77, and you can join in on the full moon reading. Now, why am I doing a full moon reading this in this fashion? Because full Libra rules the house of partnership. Okay, so whether this is business partnership, love partnership, this is like going to affect your partnerships. Okay, so if you're interested in that, you can do that as well. In that reading on Friday, which will be tomorrow night, I'm going to, as I always do in my private readings that I charge like that, I'm going to give away a free 1 hour reading. Okay, so you definitely don't want to miss that. Okay, so like I said, if you'd like that, it'll be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay, so make sure that you send payment if you decide to join, at least by 5 o'clock. Okay, because I have to send out the links to those people who are not part of the Patreon and the YouTube membership. And as I stated, those people that are in the YouTube and YouTube membership and the Patreon membership, they're gonna get it for free. Okay, so as well for my Patreon members, okay, for my Patreon members, level 2 and 3, okay, tonight is free Q&A. Okay, so that's gonna be probably 7:30. Okay, I will send out notifications for you guys. You don't want to miss that. For those of you who usually do a question, you know, weekly or monthly, it makes sense to go ahead and join at least tier 2, okay? Because it's the same price as one question, and basically you would get one free question a month, plus all the other extra videos. Okay, so just wanted to clarify that, because, you know, I need to actually do a short video about how my memberships work. Okay, so that's the two things I wanted to talk about. Okay, third thing, all right, and then we're gonna get into the reading. Third thing, if you make an appointment with me and for whatever reason you can't keep that appointment, you have to notify me within 24 hours. Okay, you have to notify me within 24 hours of the time, or else it's going to be a 50% charge. Okay, because I could have used that time to book for somebody else. I've actually had a couple clients who keep moving their appointments, or they cancel their appointments, or they don't call. Okay, and I can't do that. All right, so yes. And then the second part of that is, you know, if you have and I'm not talking to my Patreon or YouTube members for a minute. If you do a question on What's Good Wednesday, right, and you feel like you need more clarification, there is a consultation reading that you can choose on my website. Okay, where we can look at that in more in depth. Okay, I don't want to get phone calls or texts at 11 o'clock at night asking me for clarification, because then that's going to lead into new questions, and that wouldn't be fair, okay? So just wanted to make that clear. All right, so let's get into today. I wanted to talk about what not to exactly, or buy a complete reading where, you know, my clients will tell you, I go in very in depth, okay? And I give my clients a lot of support, okay, almost like technical support, okay? So I really gonna have to put a stop to people trying to get extra time without being considerate of my personal time. I also have a family, all right? And I run What's Good Frequency Connects. I run, it's not just my YouTube business. I have several, different aspects of my, exactly, without paying, several different aspects of my company, okay? So I do herbal work, I'm an apothecary, I do readings, I'm a Reiki, I'm about to be Reiki master any day, right? So like, and I have a family. I have 3 kids, okay? And I have 2 grandchildren. So I'm a busy lady, okay? So please be respectful, okay? So that's what I wanted to mention in regards to that, okay? So now, what not to manifest and when? Let's talk about it, okay? So, I was watching something and, people were talking about, manifesting through depression. Please don't manifest while you're depressed. Please don't manifest while you're depressed. Okay? If you want to manifest while being depressed, ask spirit for clarity. Manifest clarity, manifest healing, manifest a lighter frequency. Don't manifest something that you desire, because while in depression, your energy is not in the right frequency, and manifest more difficulty towards you. Okay, and I feel like when you're depressed, what you should be saying is, Spirit, help me to see things clearly. Spirit, help me to heal the parts of myself that are causing my frequency to be down. Help me see the parts of my shadow that I need to work on. This would be, a healthy way to manifest while going through, a myriad of emotions, okay? Another time not to manifest. Please don't manifest when you're pissed the fuck off, okay? Because, like, let's say you're angry with somebody and you want to manifest a solution to the conversation, right? You might not have had enough time to think about how you could deal with that constructively, what you would say that would be constructive, or you could be manifesting, like, because you're angry, right? So you could be manifesting like, well, I want this person to contact me so I can get this shit off my chest. And you might actually be wrong. You haven't had enough time to reflect on, what went wrong in a particular interaction. And now you're going to be manifesting a negative interaction. Okay? Or those dark thoughts that you might be having at that moment when you're angry at somebody could actually manifest. And maybe you weren't meaning any harm. There's a lot of people out here who don't know how powerful they are. Okay, so you could be thinking like, fuck them, I hope they get the karma. And then they get the karma 2 days later. You're not angry at them anymore, and now you feel bad, okay? So let's try to be the master of our frequency. We always talk about over here about looking within before we look externally. Okay, so Sky Bridge, possibility for union. Okay, so you're in union with spirit the minute you were born. Okay, now it's up to you to cultivate a healthy relationship with spirit so that you can bring in the things that you want. Okay, I actually offer a 4-part course on my website, okay? Or if you don't see the information there and you want to ask more questions, you can email me at lovelysoul@gmail.com. Okay, but it goes over 4 months because you can't manifest overnight. Okay, it's a process. You have to raise your frequency. Okay, some things will come in faster, other things will take longer, right? So you have this possibility of union with spirit, right? It has to be cultivated, it has to be nourished, it has to be balanced. You have to be willing to surrender certain things. Okay, this also means that you have to look at yourself and the part that you might be playing in a situation that's preventing what you want to come in. Okay, so this is why we have to manifest responsibly. Sometimes when we're in a lower frequency, when we're angry, when we're going through depression, when we have a lot of sadness, if you've gone through some type of grief or you lost somebody, it's probably not the right time to manifest a new job, a new relationship, you know, these kind of things, because they may bring a toxic version, an unhealed version, where you might actually get what you want. Let's say you were brokenhearted from a past relationship, right? Let's say it broke 2 months ago. You haven't gotten your frequency back. You're like, damn, I hate feeling like this. I just want somebody to come in. What if spirit brings that person in, but they're more elevated than you? You haven't done the shadow work. Guess what's going to happen? That person's going to pull away from you within a certain amount of time because your frequency doesn't align with their frequency. So now you've actually deterred the thing that you wanted because you weren't ready, right? So we have to go within first. Okay, crown games, right use of power. You see, and this is what I'm talking about, right? So most of the people that watch my channel here, you know, we're more spiritually inclined. We're into doing the shadow work. We want the ascension, right? So you might have learned how to bring some things into you or how to contact your ancestors. But when you're not in your frequency or when you're not in the right emotional or mental state, right? This is when you could use that connection with spirit to your detriment. Okay, right use of power. Okay, also, depending on what you're manifesting, like if you're manifesting some type of negativity, your ancestors are not going to be, you know, wholly supportive. They may give you what you want in some aspects, but they're going to use that opportunity to show you how you did something wrong or that was not to your benefit. Okay, using that same very example that I used about love, and then they might send in the person so that you can realize that you were not ready for that relationship. Okay, meaning they're trying to get you to see without being, because you have free will, right? So they're trying to get you to see, right, that it's not something external from you. So they allow this thing to come in so that they can get you to open your eyes that there's something within you that you still have to heal, right? So you got beloved, radical acceptance, right? So sometimes when we're going through challenging periods, we want to hurry up and get out of them, right? Because it doesn't feel good. Right? So you want to hurry up and get out of a particular situation. But usually after your dark moments or your low vibrations is when the ascension comes. Why? Because while you were in that lower frequency, you had to deal with a lot of things that maybe you didn't want to look at before. So sometimes we shouldn't be in such a hurry to come out of that, because we're supposed to be examining what's going on within us. So that way we can bring in the download or the lesson that Spirit's trying to show us, so that we can actually manifest the things that are for our highest good. Okay, sometimes when you're not getting your way, it's not because Spirit wants to tell you no, but it might not be for the highest good of the collective in the situation with the people that are in your immediate circle, right? Let's use another example. Right? So let's say that you are manifesting going on a trip, right? and you didn't check in with your ancestors like, hey, is this a good idea? Should I go right now? I know my car's having all kinds of fucking problems and I really don't got the money to put into it, but Spirit opened up a way for me to go because I really want to go right now. Mind you, you might have outstanding bills, this, that, and the third. And Spirit could be trying to show you, like, you know what? You should probably pass on this trip because you need to concentrate on some financial things that are coming up, and the car is not working right, and all these other things. And you hear the clicking, and you go in the morning and you hear all this stuff. The car doesn't want to turn over, right? And then 2 days later is the trip. And you decide, you know what, fuck it, 2 tears in a bucket. I'm going to do it anyway because this is what I want to do, right? And then the car breaks down halfway, right? Because Spirit was trying to tell you in some fashion, like, you know what, there's other priorities right now. Sometimes we get in our own way because we don't want to take no. That's the human part of us. It's understandable. We all go through it. But we have to be careful about hearing what we want to hear, especially when we've got our heels dug in, right? Heart, home, compassion, right? This one goes to the anger part, right? So like I was saying, you could be angry at somebody. Let's say you have an argument or your friend says something to you that you find hurtful. And now you're like, oh, you know what? This person doesn't remember when they were in that same very situation. I hope that that shit happens to them so they could be reminded, right? Now you're not manifesting out of a place of compassion. You gotta watch your thoughts. This is why it's not good to go to your altar or go to your ancestors or do a full moon or new moon ritual or whatever under the guise of anger, hurt, depression, even anxiety. Okay, what you need to ask are for things that have to do with you. Okay, like Spirit, can you help me to see what would be best in this situation because I'm feeling very hurt? Or can you help me to heal the parts of myself so I could be ready for the relationship that I need? What's good, Rose? Okay, for the relationship that I want. Can you help me to clear out the parts of myself that are impeding my spiritual ascension, that are impeding these parts of my life, like my relationships, from coming into me? Okay, so this is important. You're going to see a lot of people is going to tell you like, oh, just make a wish list, you know, light a candle, go to Spirit. But you are co-creating with Spirit. It's not just a wish list. It's not Santa Claus, okay? You got to do the work. There's no shortcuts. Okay, I'm not going to be the reader that's going to lie to you and tell you, oh, yeah, you know, you might trip on a couple things that come in. Like, let's say you wake up on Saturday morning. It's the full moon, right? Saturday morning, you're in a great mood and you want to ask Spirit, you know, hey, Spirit, can you help me with that new job or that new love or whatever, right? This is fine. Right? But you got to do it when, and let's say you're not always in that frequency, but that day you happen to be in good frequency, right? And you manifest this thing and it comes in immediately. It was because of the frequency that you were holding at that moment. But if you don't maintain a healthy frequency, okay, and you learn how to ride your own natural frequency, this is how you bring things in. So if you haven't learned how to do that, what's going to happen is either that thing could fall away or you'll have trouble maintaining the frequency, like other things won't come in. It's because you're not aligned consistently, okay? Because there's also a thing about being consistent in the vibration of manifestation. Okay, so I just wanted to bring that to light. Okay, the more you become consistent with your frequency, the easier it will become to bring things in on the regular. Okay, we're not looking for one-offs. Okay, anyone can manifest a one-off situation. We're talking about life-changing manifestation that you can rely upon, that you know that, okay, I'm trying to manifest a home. I'm trying to manifest a home, and you know that Spirit's going to help you, even if it takes a little bit longer, because you regularly stay in frequency. Spirit can rely on you to maintain a particular frequency. Not to say that you won't have moments of doubt or moments of upset, right? But it used to take me days, sometimes longer, right? When I would be angry at somebody to like bring my frequency back. Now I can do it in hours because I realize that that's external from me. And why should I give this other person power over my own vibration that's actually shutting me down from the things that I want, okay? Yes, okay, so Soulful Sister says, Spirit got me hard because I was asking but didn't do the work. LOL, wake up call, message received. Right. So we have to work with Spirit, right? It's not just Spirit. They're like, all right, so if I give you this shit now, you might not do what you need to do to maintain it, and you're only gonna get one shot. So I'm trying to wait so that you're in the right position to receive what you're asking for. It's not like Spirit wants to punish you. Okay, you got full moon in Taurus, detoxify, right? So when we go to manifest what we want, which Taurus rules the house of value, what is important to you? When we want to manifest what we want, we need to first detoxify the parts of ourselves that are, that are causing blockages. We might have to get rid of some people, places, and things, right? So that way you can make room for the things that you want coming in, right? New moon in Aries, go for it. You also have to put in the action. You can't just sit on your ass at home and be like, well, Spirit's going to bring it to me because I asked for it, right? You got to do the shadow work. First quarter moon in Leo, be humble, right? Which is check with the reason why you want this. Like when I was talking about the anger, right? Do you want this because you've put in the work and you deserve it? Or are you, keeping up with the Joneses? Well, so-and-so got a new car, so I want a fucking new car, right? Or so-and-so had a breakthrough with work, so why can't I get a breakthrough? Like, you understand? Like, we have to be humble, right? So, for instance, gonna use myself, right? I'm a growing baby YouTube channel, right? Do I want followers to follow me so that I can help them on their journey and then I grow? Or am I looking for clientele to fill my pockets? Guess what? Spirit's gonna make the growth period even fucking slower because it's not coming from a genuine higher vibration. Okay? You can tell because they're all on, at the end of the month. It's the first of the month. Wake up, right? So come the 25th, 26th, they're online every day, Q&As, right? Because they're trying to get money up. They're not necessarily, I offer 1 day a week, and that's it. What's good, Jennifer LaRoe? All right, so we need to look at, and I was just using like my own personal thing, but we need to look at why we want something, because the first thing Spirit's gonna do is ask why. Why do you want this, right? Full moon in Virgo, take inspired action, right? Virgo's meticulous. What's good, Sugar Plum? Virgo is meticulous. Okay, likes to check themselves, and make sure that they are doing things as in the right frame of mind, that they've done all the right things, and that it's coming from the right place. Again, that's magician energy, because Virgo can be the magician, right? So that's how you manifest, by taking inspired action that is based off of being humble, and that you're putting the action in, and that you've made room for those things to come in. Okay? When else shouldn't you manifest? Please don't manifest during Mercury retrograde. Okay? The only thing you can manifest in Mercury retrograde is how to, what's good, Jennifer? How to, let's say you had a project that you were trying to get off the ground. You were trying to open a business, right? And you know, it got overwhelming and you walked away from the project, right? You needed clarity. Go back during Mercury retrograde, because what is Mercury? Communication, right? So communication with spirit or communication, right? So it's in retrograde, right? You could go back at that time and look at the notes that you had and and manifest fixing your errors in your project. Remember, Virgo, you know, is meticulous, right? So now, and Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, right? So meaning that you can go and use that energy of going backwards to correct something. You can also use Mercury retrograde to manifest a do-over that solely has to do with you. Let's say you got something wrong in a relationship and you recognize, like, oh, you know what, in that time I wasn't communicating from my highest good. I was communicating from a place of fear, right? So during the Mercury retrograde, you go to spirit and you say, Spirit, can you help me learn how to communicate more effectively? Can you help me recognize the parts of myself that are standing in my way, right? That's good. Now, if you ask Spirit during that time period, Spirit, can you help me fix a conversation that I had with my ex? They might actually contact you, but the communication's going to be fucked up, right? Because the problem is that in Mercury retrograde, you don't want to try to go back and repair things that have to do with other people, because you can't rely on that person having the right frequency that you guys are going to maintain a level frequency that is going to last, okay? This is why a lot of people, when they get back together during Mercury retrograde, at the end of the retrograde, it's over, right? Because it was only meant for closure. Okay, so that's part of it, okay? The Mercury retrograde, I think it starts, the shadow period starts around the 25th. But let me look it up specifically, because I don't want to give you misinformation. So May 10th to June 2nd, but it will already be in shadow 2 weeks beforehand, and it'll be in shadow 2 weeks after. Okay, so this is a period where it's really highlighted to work on yourself. Excellent time to work on yourself, on getting clarity, on looking within. Not a good time to manifest connections, people returning, all that kind of shit. It's most likely gonna devolve into a situation that is not what you wanted, okay? Ask Your Angels came out, okay? So I feel like before you go and manifest outwardly in a period where you're not in frequency, you're not in the emotional right state of mind, or it's like some sort of retrograde, right? It's probably not best. Let's take another retrograde. Let's say Pluto. Pluto is death and transformation, right? So let's say you're asking Spirit during Pluto retrograde, Spirit, I don't want this relationship to end. It may work during the retrograde because it's going backwards. But as soon as it goes forward and comes out of shadow, whatever was supposed to fall away is going to fall away. Right? So maybe what you should be asking during Pluto retrograde is, Spirit, can you show the parts of me that I need to transform so I can have a spiritual breakthrough? Right? So that you can come out of Pluto retrograde recognizing what you need to let go of, right? Ask your angels, right? Your chakras are there to feel when things are not aligned. Meditate. Big thing during retrogrades, okay? Sometimes you need to reconsider because you might recognize, you know, after some meditation or after some cooling off time, especially if you're angry or whatever, you might recognize, like, you know what, that wasn't coming from the right place. That's why, like, if I'm feeling a particular type of way, I'm going to take 24, 48 hours to think about why I want to manifest something. What, you know, should I manifest that? Who I'm going to, you know, because I work with a lot of the Orishas and a lot of the, you know, ancestors. So I'm gonna, you know, first off, think clearly about what I want and how I'm gonna go about manifesting that. And a lot of times I will be making notes all through Mercury retrograde or whatever. Like when I come out of this is what I'm gonna ask for. This is, you see? Okay, meditation brings answers and clarity, okay? And then what's at the bottom of the deck? Let go. Because sometimes we're trying to hold on to things that we need to let go of, right? Using that Pluto retrograde, right? Or you could be manifesting, oh, I want my ex to come back. But they might just come back for closure, right? Now, if you want closure, what's good, Tammy? If you want closure, you could ask, you know what? I need some closure on a situation. Don't use that other person's name, right? Because maybe what they're going to come back and do during a Mercury retrograde is fucking dump on you, their emotional things or anger, their projections, right? When you could have got that closure through spirit, in your own connection with spirit, right? Spirit could have healed you, and you might come out at the end of the retrograde and be like, you know what? I don't even need to speak to that person. I got these downloads from spirit, and I understand what part of me needed to be healed, and I feel better. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you guys some clues as to how to manifest the life you want without causing yourself blockages, because you don't understand how to use the present energy to your benefit. Okay, it's not just about, you know, our relationship with spirit. It's also what is happening energetically, not only energetically for the mass, right, but then your own birth chart. Okay, and I have courses on my website that can assist you in learning about that. Okay, so you know, you can check it out if you like. All right, so I just wanted to talk about this because I feel like, you know, I had been saying this to you guys, that the energy now, you know, the frequency of the past is gone, right? People feeling a little bit off. If you look at what happened in New York City in the train situation, people are feeling off right now. They don't know, you know, they can't hear. Those that were in low vibration can't hear the energy and how to stay in command of their emotions. Let's just say that, okay? And so sometimes we need to make sure that what we're doing is for our highest good. Okay, and I would rather teach you what not to manifest or when not to manifest than just give you like, oh, it's a Christmas gift, right? You could just go to spirit. They're going to give you whatever you want. That's not true. It's not true. Okay, so you have the world out here, right? We've been talking about being divine sovereign beings, right? Oftentimes, you could be looking outside of yourself for something. And maybe what you need to do in a retrograde or in Pluto, whether it's Mercury, Pluto, you can look at the house that they rule and then look at where that house is in your own chart. And you'll get an idea of how that energy is going to come in and affect you personally. And then that's the area that you want to concentrate on. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to manifest that. Okay, so what do I mean? Let's say that Pluto is retrograde, is gonna be in Taurus. Mercury is in retrograde, is going to be in Taurus, right? But let's say in your chart it's in Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, but Gemini is also the duality, as above, so below in communication, right? So here you could be manifesting your communications going in reverse, having a negative effect or a reverse effect of what you want. So you need to concentrate on where that is in your own chart. It'll give you a tip, right? So rather than saying, Spirit, help me communicate with this person, because you know what? Mercury is in retrograde, and in my chart, it's in the house of Gemini, right? What you should say is, Spirit, remove the things from me that block me in my communication with others. Okay? So the world here, right? But if you feel in lack, you're going to be looking to bring something in to change how you feel internally. And then that means that you are not the master of your frequency. Okay? So this is why I wanted to bring this up. Right? So let's say you want a breakthrough. Okay, you want to close a cycle and bring something in fresh, right? But you feel like it's taking too long, right? It could be because Spirit's trying to communicate to you that there's something that you need to clear out first. And what could that something be? Hierophant coming out cross. Okay, so the Hierophant is Taurus, hope and faith, right? Structure. Right? So what Spirit could be telling you is, you know, it hasn't come in because you don't believe what you're saying, or you're not doing it in a structured way where it's going to come in. Like you're asking us, and you might be writing beautiful manifestations, and yes, you've been working on it a long time, but you've been asking us for a business, but you don't consistently put in the work towards that business. So if we give it to you now, it's going to disappear before you even start, because you don't have the hope and faith in yourself. Okay, you don't see yourself as a divine sovereign being. So we can't necessarily give you that because it's going to backfire, right? Four of Pentacles, right? So this is why we're holding it back from you, because we feel like you're holding back from giving your best self, right? You got the Queen of Swords here, right? Why is the Queen of Swords here, Spirit? Can you show me? Right? So the Queen of Swords is looking in the long haul, right? She has long vision, like the eagle, right? She knows the truth and she's waiting to see if you're going to tell her the truth, right? She's very tapped into her intuition. She's using logic, right? That's the energy that Spirit's in. Okay, the Queen of Swords, she's so tapped into the logic and like the long vision of a situation that she will be patient. She will know, her intuition will tell her, this is not the right time. I'm going to wait 5 weeks when we're out of this retrograde so I could bring in what I want. I'm going to use this time effectively to think about what I feel, because remember, the sword signs, they process their emotions through their mental, right? So you could use that time effectively to handle some factual or logical things that you need to handle so that these things can come in, right? And what happens? Then the new beginning comes, and then the Hierophant is in the upright. So now you have hope and faith in the journey that you're about to undertake. Okay, you've manifested appropriately with Spirit, right? So now there's an alignment coming on, right? You got the High Priestess here, you got the Hierophant, you got the Fool. Now you're more in line, okay? And you got the Queen of Swords energy that's going to give you the ability to pay attention to detail and go towards something with faith, with logic, fact and logic, instead of being your energy being all over the place, right? The Devil, right? Why is the Devil here, Spirit? And then the Devil, just as your manifestation is about to come in, you're going to get a final test, either from Spirit or from opposing energies, right? The reason why you get this test, to see if you are filled with fear, if you're going to turn back, if you are going to fall back into your toxic ways before they give you something, right? Stuck, right? So it's like they're trying to give you this new perspective of how to break through your fears, right? And for you to recognize that you're already whole, right? You were Six of Cups. You were already, because a Six of Cups is like reconciliation. So you are reconciled with your authentic frequency. And Spirit's going to test that. Like, are you sure this is what you want? Or are you really in alignment? Will you be afraid right as this thing is about to come in? Because oftentimes what happens is right before we're about to get something, we quit. And it could be for several reasons. You could quit because you're afraid that you're not going to get the breakthrough, like that final test, you got scared, right? Or you could be afraid that you'll succeed. So Spirit could be trying to show you, like, you know what? You were raised in a situation where there was a lot of lack. Maybe there wasn't a lot of money. You would be the first person in your family to hit abundance, like real abundance, right? So we want to make sure that you recognize that you were kind of raised in a way of the frequency of lack, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's a book about that. You know, you can check it out, right? And we want you to clear that away so that you don't run from your success as many people do. Okay? Because they don't know what it will look like if they can handle it, so they get afraid, right? Look at millionaires who, you know, waste all the money and they didn't set themselves up because they didn't know how to do it, or they didn't know how to maintain that frequency, right? So you got the Six of Pentacles here. Spirit wants to help you. Spirit wants you to go ahead and stand on their back so you can reach what you're trying to get to. But you have to be an active partner with Spirit. You have to be working with Spirit for your highest good, okay? And not only your highest good, but collectively for your inner circle, right? Because you could be asking for something, for Spirit's help, and then turn around and find out that A, it doesn't make you happy, is not aligned, right? And it doesn't lead to your independence with the Nine of Pentacles. Right? So it's like Spirit's asking you, like, but why do you really want that? Right? We want to give you the Ten of Pentacles, right? But are you doing it for the right reasons? Or are you lying to yourself? Have you told yourself your inner truth? Because we want you to win with the Six of Wands. We want you to have your wish fulfillment. But we also want you to look at your situation with faith and logic and use your intellect, okay? Because we are in a divine connection with Spirit. All right, but they want us to make the choices, whether it's in love or not, because the Lover's card always represents a choice, right? Are we using our strength and our power, right, in the Queen of Swords, right? Logically, right? And also being in control of our emotions, right? Queen of Cups. And that's how we get peace and harmony, and we get the 11-11, right? A happy life, right? Halfway to what you want, right? Putting up healthy boundaries, taking the actions that you need so that you're looking for the future in a positive light, having your ships come in, right? Three of Pentacles, collaborating with Spirit, knowing how to manifest so that you could be on your path. Look how Spirit's talking, right? Because they want to take you to calmer waters, but there's some shit that got to transform, okay? So that you can move forward, all right? So that's pretty much, I'm not going to stay on long today. That's pretty much what I have for you guys today. I just wanted to talk to you guys before this retrograde comes in about how and when, you know, you shouldn't go to your altar or your ancestors, or if you do, what is okay to do during times of depression, sadness, anger, retrogrades. Check why you want something, what you want to get out of something, okay? That's pretty much what I wanted you guys to know. Okay, so for those of you that came in a little late, I'm just going to quickly say a couple things. Tomorrow night, I will be doing a full moon reading for Saturday's full moon in Libra. If you are a YouTube membership member or a Patreon member, that will be free. If you are not and you want to join us, okay, you can Cash App or PayPal me $7.77, and I will send you the link so you can participate. There will be one person who's going to win an hour-long free reading, okay, as I usually do when I do these private readings, okay? As well, for my Patreon members, tier 2 and 3, your free Q&A is tonight. Pay attention. I will be sending out messages in regards to that. All right. So that's what I have for you guys. I'd just like to say thank you to my returning subscribers for coming through and spending a little time with me. And if you're a new viewer and you felt I resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and comment, as I'd love to have you as part of the Lovely Soul family. I'm wishing you all light and love and blessings on blessings. Bye, gang gang.